All right, kicking off another big hour here of the program. Glad to have you on board live from Studio G, fighting for you from the foxhole of freedom. I am the voice of reason out here in a wilderness of stupidity. Yeah, the Steve Gruber Show often results in extended periods of American pride, optimism, and enthusiasm in America's future, live in all 50 states and all over the world. Yeah, it's a dirty job, but I'm going to roll up my sleeves and do it. Three big things you need to know. Number one, Waymo, the driverless car service, calling it quits in Los Angeles. Why? Because their cars are getting torched by the rioters, but at least it's mostly peaceful, right? Number two, anti-Trump forces gathering on Saturday, calling for mass protests around the country to demand more illegals come in and more get to stay here. It's being coined the No Kings protests. And number three, the violence on the streets of Los Angeles is continuing. Despite the National Guard being called in and now U.S. Marines being tasked with keeping the peace, protecting federal buildings. Is that the right move? What do you think? People are wondering, should the Marines be there? What do you think about that? I'd like you to drop me a note. Go to stevegruber.com. Send me an email, right? Tell your friends. Follow me on social media. We're live every day on YouTube, Facebook, X, all over the place. We've built a movement here, and you're part of it. But we need to grow. We need to grow because the people that are supporting these riots in Los Angeles and so forth, getting all the attention, that's not who we are. But putting the Marines into Los Angeles, what do you think about that? The National Guard has gone in 2,000 troops so far, another 2,000 on the way. 500 to 700 Marines that'll be there, we're told, to defend federal property. Donald Trump asked about the idea of a civil war being pushed by Gavin Newsom. Here's how he responded.
What do you make of the fact that he says, you want a civil war on the streets of America?
No, that's just the opposite. I don't want a civil war. A civil war would happen if you left it to people like him. And I liked him. You know, I always got along with him. Never had a problem with him. But he's grossly incompetent.
But he's grossly incompetent. Do not support the idea of a civil war. But Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, grossly incompetent, according to the president. By the way, if there's going to be civil unrest and Gavin Newsom's going to blame Donald Trump, then why would Democrats be calling on people to run over police officers? Run over them. Here's one of those Democrats, one of those peace-seeking Democrats doing exactly that. Listen.
We are labor, and we move the agenda to support working families all over the country. And if somebody gets in our way, shame on them, because we're going to run right over them, aren't we? Shame! It's time to make your voices heard. Shame on us if we don't get out there and fight like hell every single day and make our voices heard. We've got to do that because we are united. We are right, and we're going to stand up, and we're going to fight like hell every single day. Are you ready to fight? Yes. Are you ready to fight? Yes. Are you ready to make your voices heard? Yes. Let's do it. Thank you.
Run over those that get in your way. Run over those that get in your way, like police officers, right? By the way, one of the things that is so pronounced, and look, the Republicans couldn't pay for this kind of publicity. Donald Trump couldn't pay for this kind of publicity as the news media in places like ABC, like we shared in the last hour, talk about how these are peaceful protests and everything's going fine while cars are burning in the streets. They're just people having fun watching cars burn in the streets. Just people having fun watching cars burn in the streets. That's what they said on ABC, right? And they're all out there protesting America, the nation that gave them freedom, the ability to protest, while waving Mexican flags, the place that they apparently don't want to go. Mexico's so great, they don't want to be deported back to Mexico. Mexico is so wonderful that they're waving Mexican flags while dumping on America. Pretty remarkable, really, isn't it? And all of this stems from Joe Biden's incompetence. He was never an open borders guy, but his incompetence allowed it to happen because he was not present. So, with all the Mexican flags, I want to take a measurement, if you will. Here is a Mexican American who calls out those protesting with their Mexican flags in their hands. It's kind of interesting. Listen.
It's straight. Just so I could clarify it. You don't want to go back to Mexico. You're protesting to stay away from Mexico. But you're waving the Mexican flag and you're waving it with pride. You're waving it in the United States, the country you're trying to stay in, the country you don't want to leave. But yet you're waving the Mexican flag with pride. Okay. That seems normal to you? That seems logical? That's not stupid at all? None of that's stupid. All right. You guys are an embarrassment to the Mexican culture and to the United States culture. You guys are an embarrassment to everybody around you, and you should be ashamed of yourself.
An embarrassment to everyone around you, to Mexican culture, to American culture, to thinking people everywhere. Boy, does he nail it, right? So you wave the Mexican flag while protesting being sent to Mexico. Yeah, that's who we're dealing with. Mexico's the greatest. America is awful. America's so bad, you keep coming here. Here. For government handouts and opportunities. Yeah, people vote with their feet, don't they? They sure do. Oh, and by the way, I told you about the No Kings protest coming Saturday. They say there'll be millions of people protesting around the country. Donald Trump was elected to get illegals out of this country. Two big issues, the economy and national security by way of the border. Here's the call for the national uprising on Saturday. Listen.
In a world where truth is treason and justice is bought at auction, the people are waking up. June 14th, no kings, no silence, no turning back. See you there.
Oh, good Lord. And then, let me make a prediction for you. And then, these clowns will blame Donald Trump. They'll have uprisings in Minneapolis and Cleveland and Chicago and Jacksonville and Baltimore and wherever else. And then these clowns will blame Donald Trump for the violence. That's what will happen. These clowns will blame Donald Trump for the violence that they create, that they instigate, as they antagonize and go after people. Well, look for some counter-protesters. I'll be at the parade on Saturday in D.C. I'm guessing there'll be plenty of protesters there as well. I'll take a break. I'll be back. When I come back, we got Dr. Steve Turley coming up and Michael Toth. Trump urging Europe to reform unfair tax policies. It's important stuff. We'll be right back.